Just doing a little something. I got time for you. What's good? What? Wait, what was it? Everybody in the house got to get it. At least that's all it was, and it wasn't a literal mechanical issue, because that would be some bull. Girl, bring yourself back down and chill yourself down, but let yourself feel what you feel in the moment too. Right. I'm gonna make sure I'm by myself so I don't lash out at everybody, or so that when I do lash out, because I might still do that I lash out who need to be lashed out at. Cause I be so mad, you be so mad, everybody can get it. I work like a slave, so I don't have to work like a slave. Right. Right. You think I don't work like a slave, so I don't have to work like a slave? Y'all got it twisted. Yeah, respect it. After a while, they're gonna be like, she been talking to her sister again. She said some old crazy stuff, but I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense. But don't nobody feel like using their brain no more in America. You having a good morning now? Yeah. Oh, wow, no. It wasn't to create more work for me. I work like a slave, so I don't have to work like a slave. Right. In her defense, if she really thought that, then I get it. I get that she got a track history that make you feel that way about that. And it sounds, but some people, when they tell you to do something in terms of a communication with the team, if that's the person that told you, and it's usually have their name on it, then sometimes, I'm just being devil's advocate on this one. So, with that, if you would just, if that's one of your first delegations to give her, girl, be having these conversations every day. Last night we were just talking about it, and I tell him, like I told you, I was like, you have to, now we've got to the point where where you cognizant of what's going on, and you get to a point where you speak on it, because you want the productivity to go well for the company, because, they don't care about me, but we all doing this company thing together. But then the reality is it's a whole new generation, and that includes those in management position. That includes those who are given more responsibility than they are ready for. Just like people having kids that ain't ready to have kids, except it's on a professional level, and everybody's being enabled to do it. So our best bet because the only other option is anxiety and stress, which affects our bodies at over 40 years old. So all you can do is all you can do, and you still need to, you still speak up and say what works. But when people don't do it, then just sit back in the cut. Ain't no I told you so. Everybody that knows, even though they won't be acknowledged, because again, people are taught to not think for themselves. They don't think their own way through it. So if one little thing goes wrong, which means that they can't do it at all, because if you're able to do something, you're able to do a variety of variables of that thing that you can do. But again, they can only do that thing where they can push that button, and they don't have no responsibilities. They got people that procreated them, that didn't parent them, and now they out here in the world. And guess who got to deal with them? We do. What I'm not gonna do? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna reward that bad behavior. Right. That we don't have to do. We don't have to do. So what did you say when they said that? And what did they say then? And you said that too? Okay, your hands are washed. All you do is now just play the game, whatever game they want to play, to push her through, however they want to push her through. But don't, like you said, don't reward the bad behavior, and don't celebrate whatever. Just do whatever until she gets out of your hair, because it does sound like they doing what they doing, and they using you to do it. And you have been clear about, like, this, she and I are not sisters. I don't know what you're trying to do. Well, I do know what you're trying to do, but do your thing, whatever. Because they do that. They just gonna, it's some other stuff that go on the job responsibility for the application of being the only black person. And they can act like it don't, but there's some other stuff they do, and you put it on us because we all of a sudden represent all black people to you, and it shouldn't be that way, but that's what it is, and I understand it. But guess what? I'm not gonna. My thing is, I will sit and listen to a liar and a bullshitter, and I won't call them out. But if they deal with me like I'm supposed to fall for it, like everybody else in the room, because everybody else falling for it. Yeah. Everybody falling for it. But if you look me, and people think I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. I actually give them more than that, because they think I give them more credit than that. So, but if they look at me in a room full of people, you know which one's not going for that bullshit, and you know which ones to try to oversell to push them because they're on the border, and you know which ones to leave alone because they will expose you. So I'm that person in that room that's sitting there listening to your bullshit and everybody else falling for it, right? But when you try to be interactive and say, so this is what we do, and this is and you call on someone in the audience, if you call on me like I fell for that bullshit, and you know good and well, you look me in my eyes, and I didn't, if you call on me, You get everybody in this room ain't gonna buy your bullshit now. Your pockets are empty because I'm finna let everybody know why I don't trust nothing you just said up here. Like, so my thing is I'll go along because I know how to go along to get along. I'm an American. I was born here. I live here. I know how to go along to get along. But don't insult my intelligence like you didn't know I had more sense than that.
Don't you do it?
Don't do it. His husband, rest in peace. I told you they was on that multi-level stuff, and I was like, okay, he tried me twice, you know. But he was smart enough to try me without the other people in the room. I thought that was I was particularly impressed by that. I was like, oh, that lets me know that he knows that I ain't for the bullshit because he don't want me to say what I'm going to say right now in front of other people who are actually buying it. Yeah, you better ease into that stuff with an intelligent person. Or just leave him alone.
Yeah, I'm not the target audience.
Yeah, that's the key. That really covers it all from every angle. I'm not your target audience. You can keep selling if you want to after that. Yeah. I'm not your target. That's the perfect way. And I've heard you say that before, too. But that's a perfect way to say it to somebody who is the sociopath that you looking dead ass in their eye. I'm saying I'm not your target audience. That's what I'm going to start saying. Use it wisely. You know what? I'm not even going to say I'm not interested anymore. That's going to be my answer because that's what they go for is their target audience. So after I tell you that, because that gives me even more freedom to say even more of what I'll be saying afterwards. Because after that, I could be like, okay, keep.
I done told you.
You better than me, Kudo, with the I done told you. Because we both know I done told you. So I'm just unleashing. I ain't wasting no more time. The time I had was to tell you that we both know. You'd be like, oh, you didn't have to come at me like that. Like, I didn't. I want you full warning. You kept going. You chose to keep going.
You see what you made me do?
You see what you made me do? That's the abusive theme song.
Exactly.
That's the abusive theme song. Anyway, I got excuse me, your sister and your niece putting me to work. I guess it might be your sister and your niece. Actually, he brought it to my attention. He was like, what if? Because I kept fabricating stuff about, because I told you I was still sending some money and,
yeah.
I was just going to tell, I'm trying to decide how I want to I think I want to tell Mama not to tell her she have nothing at the house because I don't want her to go by there for it. But if she goes to see her grandmother, to check on her grandmother, then she'll have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that don't matter anyway because when I heard the insurance was due too, so I knew it was going to be more than $100. And so then did I tell you about how much more she said it was?
Yeah, 300.
Yeah. So we start calculating, right? And I know what you said about getting ready to get evicted or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, what if? And he's like, because I don't think she's that kind of person. He's like, but what if I was putting up to get money from you for the rent? And I was like, oh, so they don't get evicted or whatever. I was like, I didn't even think about that. I was like, that's not impossible. It might not be. I was like, but that's not impossible. I didn't even think about that. I doubt it. Well, what I really don't like is, oh, we just talked about it. What I don't like is trying to be played.
Yeah.
I'd rather you call and say, I need some money.
This what I did. In my bad. I made that.
In my bad. This what I did. Because I don't like nobody calling me with no bullshit. Like, I'm not going to see through it. Like, I'm not seeing through it as I talk to you. And I even say a couple of things so you know I don't see through it. Like, I was like, man, that's a horrible thing to happen. I've never heard of anybody going through that like twice in the same. I basically was trying to find a sweet way to say, who parks in the same spot where they got towed at the last time? That's what I wanted to say. But like I said, like we talked about before, I try to put something in front of them to make them use their own mind. But yeah, I don't like just like we was talking about with whoever the sociopath is or the narcissist trying to play everybody in the room. I don't like you going for me. And you was raised in my family, so you know that I'm not the one. You know what I mean? You know about everybody in this family that you'd be better off telling the truth. Except for maybe, but everybody in this family is on some, whatever you do, don't lie about it type shit. That's what we own. And so I'm just sitting here listening to lies after lies after lies, and I'm like, and so now with that in mind, I try to give it a benefit of the doubt and say, well, maybe. But what else I don't like is that you telling me to help you out for some stuff that the money is not going to actually go to help you out. Kind of like with when she asked for the money in college, and I just gave it to her. I didn't want to put it in her account because if your account is overdrawn, you ain't going to get to use that money, and I ain't going to either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's going to go back to pay some stuff that it ain't. If you owe $2,000 and you put $400 to it, that's not gonna dwindle that down.
The bank gonna say thank you.
You the back. And neither one of us ain't gonna have nothing new. So I'm not trying to give money. I'm trying to get the money to you. You know what I mean? So that you can, and if that's gonna pay it down, fine. I'll pay it all the way down. But if you just gonna use it, if you're gonna get the money and not even use it to help yourself dig out, and you're gonna instead use it to get some new random stuff or some treat some people somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it's just counterproductive. It's not even that I don't want you to enjoy yourself. It's just financially counterproductive. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I was like, that would make me fury. That would make me livid. It would make me mad as when you were when she came to party drunk. And the reason why is because you waited till now. Because if I wouldn't mention your name, but I'm just saying to you, if you knew a long time ago to where you telling me they finna get, you know what I mean, foreclosed on, and that means that you knew a long time ago. And if you knew a long time ago, then that was the time to do that honest thing and say, you know what, I messed up. This what had happened. This where I am. Because maybe me giving you a couple $100 still ain't the answer, but we'll figure it out what it is so that we both can benefit. Well, it's some things that apparently you don't know either. But I also know that the part that I know is skewed because it's been told to me by them. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So she was dating somebody that she was allegedly engaged to. Yeah, but that I didn't believe that. I didn't see that doing nothing anyway. So I'm not saying that, didn't even say that was an option. But yeah, the handicapped man, she was talking about, I guess they were going to move to where he lives at the beginning of the year. Well, that got changed because apparently she talked to his mom and his mom had a real talk with her. But she's not grown enough to understand that real talk that her mama had with her. Because she was like, she was right. It's really something to think about. And she said the same thing you said. Because I told her when she told me about this guy that I had never, I was like, because she was talking about him like she's so frustrated because he's so slow. She have to wait to do certain things or whatever. And so
Making me laugh. I need to call you every day on my lunch hour.
And so I said, so are you sure this is somebody you want to marry if you frustrated just to have, I was like, because you finna be, I was like, that's the new job. You're a caretaker. Well, the reality is you can fall in love with a handicapped person, but she didn't. And that was my thing. Like, you don't love this guy. You frustrated just having to wait on him to do some things that it takes him time to do. You got to help him with some things. Like, how did the dating process even start? Much less you talking about some fiance. But I said, okay. But I went up, like I said, I'm half century old. I'm at the age of acceptance. So I was like, okay, well, I was like, you going to do this? I started asking her questions. Apparently, I was talking just like his mom was talking, right? But when she told me about it, you know how young people, you can tell them something, and somebody will tell them the exact same thing, and they'll be like, yeah, they was really right about that. And you're like, oh, okay, great. I'm glad it got through to you, whoever told it to you, right? So, but like I said, she did mention a couple of things. Yeah, she said what they said about whatever. So, but I'm at that age. I don't need a pat on the back. I just need you to get it together. So, she was like, yeah. And so she was talking to me, and, she was right. Got to think about some things and whatever. And I was listening to her, still a little girl in some way. So when she had this conversation with his mom, she was having a conversation with him. It was a really good conversation, and she got a lot out of it, right? But I needed to tell her, I needed to tell her, like, girl, I was like, she's not just looking out for you, she's looking out for her son. She's making sure her son don't marry somebody who doesn't truly love him.
Right.
Like, where is sometimes I think that alcoholism really ate out some important pieces of sense. And that's okay, because that's what it is as well. But I'm like, that conversation wasn't even about you. That's to make sure she loves her son. And she don't want her son marrying somebody who doesn't really love him. Like she don't.
Right now, he just seemed like they're out.
Right. Like, and he wasn't even appropriate out at the time. It was like pandemic stuff and you in and out. But I know Texas is different on that, so I don't even worry about that. But my thing was, she need to really take that into consideration. And I don't know. I mean, you know how you say she don't have no self-esteem, and so that makes me think maybe she feel like somebody. somebody able-bodied wouldn't want her or whatever. I don't know what the case is, but she need to get herself together either way it goes, because she still has daughters. She will forever have daughters. You don't never lose that responsibility, period. And I think that people that don't realize that should have figured that out. I mean, should have gave that some thought before, being pregnant. I don't know if she's backsliding as much as you think she is. I think that she has some permanent damage with some things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I have talked to her once, after I had talked to her after prom, I had talked to her for a couple times after that, and then one night the phone rang. It was her, so I picked up the phone. I said, yeah, I saw you call, so I was just seeing if you knew. She's like, huh? She, like she does when she drunk. She was like, like she didn't know nothing about it. I was like, but the name come up on your damn phone. Like what? You trying to say you didn't call? I didn't say that, but she's like, and it was less than 5 minutes after she called. Now, keep that in mind. And cause at first I was trying to hurry and get to the phone when I saw it was her. I was like, well, let me call right back, because if she's having a, backsliding moment, I want to stop, either stop her or catch her in it and, confront, I want to be a party of her fighting her addiction, if that's the situation. But like I said, I've talked to her several times, and there was a time when I couldn't talk to her without eventually catching that she was drunk. But the last several consistent times, I have to be fair and say that I think she has been sober. But I do get those remnants of those what feels like brain farts. Like, how does she not know what I'm talking about? And I feel like those are remnants of some damage that the alcoholism has done in her brain, And so she was like, yeah, I didn't call you or whatever. She told me she didn't. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I was just, I was just making sure y'all was good, making sure whatever. She's like, oh, okay. And she's like, well, it seemed a little awkward, but she did get it back together. She was like, yeah, no. She's like, cause remember I had sent you the pictures and whatever. She sent me a picture of on her prom night. And I was like, yeah, I responded to those pictures though. So I was trying to make sense, but I didn't want to make it more confusing than it needed to be since she was sober. So you know what I mean? So I was just glad about that, and I just got off the phone and was like, okay, cool.
So wonderful.
For doing what?
For being patient with her and her family's.
Oh well. If you talk to them, it'll probably be a different story. She'll probably give a little credit where she can figure it out, keep it together. But we already know, can tell the world her family abandoned her in her hard times. Oh. And you know what? I just can't. My spirit. She thinks she just messed up with you, but my spirit can't let go of that family conversation. I hear people talk about their family texting conversations and how they go left. I never had a part of. I never could relate to it, but I can now, thanks to her. And so every time I hear something from her now, like, it's almost like it's unfair. But ever since we were talking on that text about, we were trying to make sure everybody in the family was okay, because people were freezing to death. Mm-hmm. And this little bitch was up here like, oh no, we good. We doing good. It ain't bother us. Okay, good for you. You got your heat on and everything like this. We're talking about life and death. People are freezing to death. And you over there like, well, it didn't get us now. It didn't bother us now. So I was sitting, my whole adult spirit was like, it's going to be hard times for you, little girl, when it's hard times for you. You ostracizing the only aunt that can afford to help you without blinking an eye and sacrificing something in her own lifestyle. Okay? You mad at the one that's asking you about your disrespect to her. Just asking about it. Who can't do what she can do for you, but I can make some sacrifices and side hustle and get you a couple. I could go out of my way to provide for a child I didn't give birth to. But that's how you want to be? So now in my heart, like every time now, whenever she go through things, just know it might be between me and you. Maybe because he don't know this either. But I always think about her, how dismissive she was when she wasn't afflicted by the ice storm.
Yeah.
So dismissive. Just so dismissive. And I would expect that in a healthy family unit that the teenagers or young adults would be checking on the old people and whatever issues they was having when mom was having the wall knocked out of behind the washing machine stuff. But she's still taking her clothes over to mama's house, and I guarantee you mom is the one washing the motherfucking clothes. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to get us. So that's the only thing you go? You don't go over there just to see your grandmother? But you act like you lost a limb when you lost your other grandmother. Matter of fact, I specifically remember this grandmother putting everything aside to console you and be worried about you and your mourning your other grandmother. But okay. I think about those things because at the end, she's my mother. You're my niece, but you can't forget that she's my mother. You can't never forget that. But anyway, I was thinking about that, and so that made me kind of worry about them. Only so much, because it ain't nothing I can do. And because, again, like we were saying before, what you should have did was when you were struggling, admit you were struggling. And if it was your fault, acknowledge your accountability. If it wasn't, it could have been some stuff that just go down, circumstances. But we would have all known that because you would have expressed it. But don't be the main one talking about closed mouths don't get fed and don't be opening your mouth when you need it. Not when you done dug yourself deeper into the rabbit hole and been lying to everybody the whole time. And now it's time for consequences to come home to roost. I always talk about that. That's America's downfall. No accountability or consequences.
Don't worry me.
Me either, girl, because my body is too old to hold all that worry like that. So, and I'm trying to survive this thing. So, no, not me. Not over here. Not over here. I got other stuff that life puts on me naturally. Be like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. I mean, she don't know that I'm not fighting in foreclosure. But in her head, because I don't have kids, I'm sure I should be able to afford to throw her something. Girl, work ain't what it was before the BS came down on the nation.
Yeah.
You know, times is hard. She, in her mind, and that's why I wanted her to feel like I was just sending mama money for Christmas. Because she don't know what different things I might have to do to send mama a little extra change. In her little 20-year-old mind, I'm sending people allowances and stuff. I'm sure, I guarantee it. Well, how could you get your car out last time with $100 and this time it's like, how did it triple? You didn't leave your car there 3 times as long, did you? It's not even the amount, it's just the difference in the amount. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm not supposed to figure that out. I ain't never got a car towed. I don't know how it works. No, I'm talking about in 50 years of my life. Like, she telling me lies about her car getting towed. Like, I can't figure that out within the first 3 sentences you tell me about it. And, oh, I forgot this. I said, like, you know I didn't believe it anyway. And it's not impossible. It's a good lie to tell because you need that money right up front. And some places do only take cash, so I get it. I was like, because, you know, I felt especially like she was scamming when she said that she had it in cash. I really felt some kind of way in. But I said, okay, that was pretty smart. Except that I'm a grown-ass woman and I've been in this world and I have driven vehicles. So why would she assume that my car has never gotten towed to the point where I don't know how this shit works? And even if I didn't know how it works, again, I'm a grown woman. My common sense says, well, last time she only needed $100. Why she need $317 this time?
Mm-hmm. You can. It's a lot easier to get out there and hustle, get your grind on, and then you can find what you really want, pay all your bills, as opposed to trying to scam your family to death. That's just my personal opinion. So that's why I have limited
compassion,
empathy towards people like that. Because look, I'm a grinder, so I'm not the one. I'm not your target audience.
Right. Right. And even without that, even if you were not a grinder, that's an entitlement to expect other people
to solve your problems.
Yeah. And people should be there for you. You know what I mean? When you need people there for you. But it's the consistency that for me. It's the consistency with which you do that and have the expectations of the people that love you. You know what I mean? They should do it because they love you, but you shouldn't expect it because they love you. That's the thing. They should because they love you, but you shouldn't expect it to where you shouldn't. Well, I can't say feel entitled. I don't think they feel entitled to it, but they definitely expect it. And I know there's embarrassment involved. I think the embarrassment really messes people over. But what people don't realize is you could be a little less embarrassed, ironically, if you be accountable. So I dated a guy who was also a hustler. And this dude worked 3 jobs. 2 of them were full-time. You hear what I'm saying? 2 full-time. And then another job. And this dude, girl, I could practically. I wound up. I guess I was paying his rent, but I say I moved in his place and didn't move in with him. That's how it was. This dude. So I was paying rent. I was paying $150, but I was making good money, so that wasn't really nothing. Cause I didn't really need nothing, but I wasn't hardly home my own self, so I didn't really need it much. But this dude came to his place to go to sleep for about 3 hours between the two full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Period. That's the only time I even had to see. That was my house, you know? It was my house because he needed to sleep there.
Yeah.
When he went to sleep, which he had 3 hours. And that's a good night's sleep. That's on a good night. And I was like, I used to tell him all the time, I was like, I don't even know how you do it. Like, really, you inspire me. I hate to say it. It sounds crazy, the oddness of it. I was like, you inspire me to be lazy. Because I'm like, how do you do it? But the reality is, people do what they got to do when they get cornered to do it. But, you know, so I could do what I could.
They're responsible.
If they're right, if they're responsible. Because there's some really hood-ass places that I know that people that know me would think that I would never live in. And I wouldn't now, you know what I mean? But I look at the places, I'm like, if I had to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I had to downsize and survive, that...
Point in time, sound good.
Yeah, like I would rather not. So right now I'm going to work like a slave, so I don't have to work like a slave.
You know what? I'm going to get us some t-shirts made.
Please do. Please do. Ain't nobody else gonna have, just me and you. Unless it catch on and you can ball out on, you got your side hustle. Again, working like a slave, so you have to work like a slave, girl. You need to know that it's the American way. Work like a slave. So work like a slave so I don't have to. You can just stop right there so you don't have to put all them extra words. I will work like a slave so I don't have to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe we should.
Like, what's the rest of it? Work like a slave.
No. Go ahead. Put the other part on it. Cause I don't want to. You know, I don't like to talk to people. I don't want to have to explain it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm putting all the words on there, so I don't have to talk to your ass. And I ain't got time to talk to you, cause you know why? I'm working like a slave.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have time to explain this shirt. Cause I'm working. I'm grinding. But anyway, let me go before I don't get nothing done today.
Thank you for that chuckles, girl.
I always enjoy talking. You my favorite phone call. I love you.
Because people stupid, for real.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody just stop.
Yeah, 100%. If you ever need reassurance, call your old pessimist sister.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm a realist. I'm not gonna own that because people.
Straight, no chase.
Yeah.
All right, girl. I'll holler at you. Love you. Bye.
All right, love you too.